you're new here, my name is Haley, and today I'm going to be sharing some of the best romance reads to check out this fall. If you missed it, last week I uploaded a 15 spooky reads to check out this October, so be sure to check out that video after this one. I will have it linked down below. Today I just wanted to focus on some fall reads centering around romance. For those of you that aren't really interested in the spooky reads or just want to mix it up a little bit this month and get some romance. After reading like a handful of scary books, I have to read something like light and fluffy to get me out of like this weird funk, so these are some of my suggestions for you guys. And a portion of today's video is sponsored by Book of the Month, which is always so exciting. I absolutely adore Book of the Month. I have my own personal subscription. If you're unfamiliar with Book of the Month, it is a monthly subscription service for books, which every book lover needs in their life. We're also getting into the holiday season, and I always think that this would be the perfect gift for any book lover. Basically, each month you can choose between 5 and 7 book selections. For this month, they have 7 selections of spooky, scary stories perfect for October. The book that I chose this month is Sign Here. This is a paranormal fiction. The main character of this book literally works in hell, and it just sounds super funny and perfect for the season, so I'm really excited to check this one out. The other books to choose from this month are Thistlefoot, which is a fantasy read, The Family Game, which is a thriller, Foul Lady Fortune, this one is a young adult read, Hester, which is a historical fiction, Jacqueline in Paris, this is another historical read, and this one is currently on my TBR. This is about Jackie O. And lastly, As Long as the Lemon Tree Grows, this is another young adult read. But each month you can add up to 2 add-ons to your box, and I always take advantage of that. So the 2 add-ons that I have for this month are romance. But not just any romance. We have some spooky, witchy romance that I'm so excited to check out. Starting with The Kiss Curse by Erin Sterling. This is the same author that wrote The Ex-Hex, which is in my recommendations pile for this month. And this book is actually the same characters from The Ex-Hex. Then I picked up Spells for Forgetting by Adrienne Young. This one is described as a deeply atmospheric story about ancestral magic, an unsolved murder, and a second chance at true love. So I cannot wait to dive into these books this month. And I'm really excited to announce that for all of my Canadian friends, Book of the Month is finally available in Canada. So for all of my US people and Canadians, you can get your first box for $9.99 with the coupon code TREAT. And I will have all the information linked down below for you guys to check out. As you guys know by now, I am a huge fan of Book of the Month, and I'm always excited to get you guys on board as well. So moving into the 10 fall-themed romance recommendations that I have for you guys, I am going to start off with The Ex-Hex since we just talked about The Kiss Curse. Since these are the same characters, I would definitely recommend checking out The Ex-Hex first and then going into The Kiss Curse. But The Ex-Hex is a spooky, witchy themed rom-com, and it definitely has a lot of like funny, maybe a little bit of vulgar humor. But basically the main character puts a hex on her ex-boyfriend, and he or she doesn't even find out that she actually did this curse correctly until years later when they meet up again. So of course in this book there is a ton of chaos. It gives me a little bit of like a Halloween Town vibe, but this is a super easy quick read for October. It's just a little bit over 300 pages, so super fast. If you're into like witchy stuff and second chance romance, definitely check this one out. Next up we have the Hygge Holiday, and I always have the worst time pronouncing this word. I believe it's Danish. This is another pretty short and sweet little rom-com. Basically, Clara arrives to this town, and hopefully I'm not butchering it, but Yulethorpe, when the last little shop on the street has closed its doors. Clara is determined to not let the heart go out of this little town, so she gets to work. And that's when she meets Joe, who is a workaholic, a very busy and important man. She tries to teach him the art of slowing down and enjoying things. So this one is a very cute, happy read. It'll definitely put you in a good mood. Then I have Accidentally Amy by Lynn Painter, and there is kind of a theme with like short reads in this suggestion pile, so some of them will be like 250 pages that you can just quickly read in just a day, and this is one of them. I think Lynn Painter is an absolute genius when it comes to writing sweet little rom-coms, and this one was no different. This one is a little bit of a mistaken identity. This book starts off with the main character at Starbucks getting a quick little pumpkin spice latte before her first new day on the job. And during her little Starbucks trip, she has a run-in with a man, and they have an immediate spark spark an immediate connection. But what do you know? She rolls into work on her first day and that man is her boss. So it just sets you up for the perfect fun read, trying to navigate this relationship as boss and employee. I thought this book was absolutely adorable and again, just so perfect for fall. And speaking of pumpkin spice, I have Pumpkin Spice and Not So Nice by Becky Monson. The main character of this book has a family-owned pumpkin patch. One day, she finds a $50 bill with a handwritten note donated to the family pumpkin patch. And it turns out the person that donated that $50 bill is extremely attractive, but also emotionally unavailable. The whole point of this book is the main character has such a struggle when it comes to relationships and dating men that are emotionally unavailable. So this is another fun read. This one is also very short, only about 250 pages. Next up, we have another witchy read. This is Witch Please by Anne Aguirre. Similar to the Ex-Hex, the main character of this book is a modern day witch, and the male main character has a romantic curse that he believes is doomed to leave him forever alone. Once these two meet, the sparks are instant, and this is definitely another fun little witchy rom-com. This one is a little bit longer than some of the other books that I have. This one's a little bit over 350 pages, so a nice solid read. Then I have A Fall Love Story by Lone Lee, and this one isn't necessarily a fall read, but I decided to include it because soup pho just felt fall for me. The two main characters in this book have competing pho restaurants, but the feud between these two restaurants and the families that own them runs a lot deeper than competition. So when the two main characters are finally in the same vicinity with each other and sparks instantly start flying, they're wondering why it took them so long to connect. So the two are trying to figure out this relationship and figure out how to make this love work between their feuding families and complicated histories. So a little bit of forbidden love. Then I have Fall into Temptation from Lucy Score, who's the same author that wrote The Things We Never Got Over. The main characters of this book are kind of similar to the main characters of Things We Never Got Over, where we have a sort of emotionally unavailable man who is not interested in getting into another relationship, and a woman who is basically in this man's backyard and has her hands full with a million problems going on. So I think if you enjoyed that book, you will probably enjoy this one. Then I have One Night on the Island by Josie Silver. Two strangers are trying to book a vacation at this cottage when all of a sudden they get to the cottage and realize it was double booked. Now there is one cottage for these two strangers, and unfortunately for them, they are stuck in this situation because there is only one ferry that comes weekly. But as the days go by in this cottage, they no longer mind each other's company as much. This book turns into the most charming love story. And we have Awkward in October by Teresa. Yeah? This one is definitely a grumpy meets sunshine sort of trope. If you guys love that, you will love this. The main character of this book is looking for a drastic change in their life. So they book a one-way ticket to Connecticut and October is in full swing. She ends up buying a cheap older home, sight unseen, and it turns into the biggest fixer-upper. She's 100% in over her head when she turns to her grumpy neighbor to help her with the fixer-upper. The two are complete opposites, but of course, as you may imagine, it turns into the most adorable love story. And the last book I have is Autumn Sky by Jenna Starley. The main character of this book, her name is actually Autumn Sky. So in this book, Autumn is on a dating app when all of a sudden she matches with a guy named Ren. Ren is a billionaire space entrepreneur, and the only reason he's even on this app is to find someone to fake date, just to have someone on his arm at an upcoming conference. And as usual with fake dating, the two start to develop real feelings for one another. This one is another quick read under 300 pages. And that wraps up my fall romance recommendations and TBR. Definitely let me know if you guys have checked out any of the books that I mentioned today and your thoughts. Also remember to check out Book of the Month. I'll have the links all down below for you guys. Thank you so much for watching and I will see you guys soon. Bye!